It's a brand new season for the ADAC TCR Germany. We are at the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena to find out who will win the first race of the season. It is going to be a 14-race season, and it is going to be dramatic. It's the first of 2 races this weekend. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oschersleben. We're on the eastern outskirts of the town of Oschersleben, about 20 miles southwest of Magdeburg in central Germany. And we have been enjoying some great racing here already this weekend. We're looking forward to this one, the ADAC TCR Germany. It's a brand new season. They've got a brand new tyre. The new exclusive partner, Hankook, providing the tyres. We have a lot of new drivers as well. Last year's champion, Luca Engsler, has moved up to the GT Masters, and he's just finished his race for the day. So there is going to be a new name on the championship trophy by the end of this season. Will it be a new team, though, because Team Engsler are back once again, although this year they're not in the Hyundais. They're no longer Hyundai Team Engsler. They are now Honda, the Liquimoli Team Engsler, and the man that is heading the way for them is very much Martin Anderson. He's on pole position. That lady there, Jessica Bachmann, we welcome her back to the ADAC TCR Germany. She lines up second on the grid for ADAC Motorsport by ASL Lichtbau, and she is at the wheel of a Hyundai Veloster. So really good to see a bit of variety on the grid. Alongside me for much of the season this year will be Adam Weller, and I'm really pleased to have Adam here. He is my walking encyclopedia for all things motor racing, and you've been having a ball this weekend, haven't you, Adam?
Some of the statements you just heard are slightly exaggerated.
Nonsense.
I have been having a ball this weekend and very much looking forward to seeing how this TCR race unfolds. We've got 2 of the biggest teams on the front row, represented by 2 very handy drivers in Anderson and Jessica Bachmann. You see that Jessica getting herself ready for this race, and as you said, they've moved to a Veloster TCR car that has been around for a while, albeit exclusively in the North American market for quite a while. I say exclusively, they ship them over once a year for the N24 for the last couple of seasons. But
I told you he was an encyclopedia, didn't I? I did warn you. On the grid, I'm going to interrupt you there because there's a lovely picture of Jonas Karkleis. He was racing last year, and he is in a non-Veloster Hyundai. That's the i30N, according to my complex calculations, and he's lining up 3rd on the grid for Nordpass. He had a great qualifying session. It was an interesting qualifying session because Anderson, Bachmann and Karkleis were constantly trading provisional pole position, and it was Anderson who came out on top in the end. Sorry, interrupted you. Carry on.
No, nothing much to add to that, but of course the Veloster is broadly similar. I don't think they've reinvented the wheels for the Veloster. It is broadly similar as a platform underneath, but it's a slightly more sleek looking thing. I said to you earlier on the way to explain the Veloster, in my opinion, is it's like the Ford Puma to the i30N's Ford Fiesta, albeit a bit bigger and more potent. There's the second of the Liquimoli Team Engsler Hondas then, Simon Lagniak, and we'll see how they do with this Honda. It's going to take a while, I think, to disassociate the words Hyundai and Engsler.
It really is. I keep wanting to call them Hyundai Team Engsler. That would probably get me into deep trouble. There's Robin Yar. Well, the last time, I can assure you. Robin Yar in the number 22 car. Robin Yar lines up on the 3rd row of the grid in 6th position, and he's another driver who featured last year and kind of got better and better as the year went on. And of course, he's the founder and owner of Ryoka Motorsport, fulfilling an ambition of driving a Veloster this year. And he also receives support from Team Engsler. So Engsler not just having influence on their own cars, but also on other cars on the grid, as we look at Vincent Rademacher in the Holden Astra TCR. Now, we did have a big discussion. Was it a Vauxhall? Was it an Opel? Or is it a Holden? I'm told that this year it is a Holden. And it's Rademacher who is at the wheel of that car for Mora Motorsport, the number 11 car. And he is in the trophy category. Albert Legutko, there is a driver who is very much on the up in the ADAC TCR Germany, driving a Honda Civic FK2. And Albert Legutko is loving his time here for Albert Legutko Racing, really enjoying being part of this series. He hasn't raced since the end of last year, and spent yesterday just practicing, getting back up to speed, getting used to the new tyres, and is feeling reasonably confident he'll be there or thereabouts come championship end. Patrick Singh, that's another driver we saw quite a lot of last year. A bit more colourful that car is than it was last year. Patrick Singh, who is lining up, and he is on the 5th row of the grid. In 9th position is Patrick Singh, and he is driving a Hyundai i30N TCR. Martin Anderson, though, I think if there ever was, he's going to hate me for this if I put in the curse on him, but if there ever was a pre-season favourite, it was probably Martin Anderson all along, because he finished off last year so strongly. He just got quicker and quicker last year, finished second to Luca Engsler in the Drivers' Championship. He is pumped and motivated and ready to go, and he has found the transition from Hyundai to Honda quite a challenge. He said that we're really pleased that we've done as much testing as we have over the winter, because we really needed to. Jessica Bachmann, that we're looking at there, she was in the series back in 2019, guested, of course, brother of Andres Bachmann, and really nice to welcome her here, and she is absolutely buzzing as well. Spoke to her yesterday, and she is delighted to be back on the grid as the cars pull away on their formation lap for race 1 of this 14-race season.
Yeah, Bachmann, well respected and well regarded in TCR circles all across Europe. Did some brilliant driving in TCR UK several years ago. Her name always gets brought up in that paddock, but here is the starting grid in full.
And as previously mentioned, Martin Anderson for Liquimoli Team Engsler this year in the Honda, but with a Hyundai alongside in the hands of Jessica Bachmann for Ryoka Motorsport. Third on the grid, Jonas Karkleis for Nordpass, and René Kirscher returning for another season, but this time with Ryoka Motorsport. Simon Ladniak lines up 5th on the grid with Robin Yar alongside. It's Honda and Hyundai next to each other. Vincent Rademacher in the Holden alongside Albert Legutko, who is 8th on the grid. 9th on the grid, Patrick Singh with Roland Hertler, another for Liquimoli Team Engsler in the Honda. He lines up 10th on the grid. And then it's Max Grun for Grun Stahlbau Racing. Good to welcome Max here this weekend. And Kai Rosowski for Cairo Racing, another newcomer to the grid. And Michael Mora for Mora Motorsport bringing up the rear, 13th on the grid. This is a race that will be 30 minutes in duration. Conditions are absolutely perfect. We are at the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena. It's a circuit that is 3.667 kilometers around with 14 turns. 7 of them go in the left-hand direction, 7 of them go in the right-hand direction. The cars race in a clockwise direction. Very little in the way of undulation. Now, that's an interesting place to get your bike. Oh, it looked like it was on the roof. It's actually on the terraces. Let me tell you, we are so excited because look in the background. People, after 2 years of what has been a fairly miserable time for much of the world, we are so happy to welcome spectators and many, many spectators back to the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena this weekend. The paddock area was packed out when I tried to walk through it earlier, and it's lovely to have spectators here in great numbers, enjoying the sunshine and enjoying great racing. So Jess Bachmann just getting some heat into the tyres, and It's got to be fairly nerve-wracking getting to the start of a race at the start of a season. Race 1 of 14, race 1 of 2 this weekend, 14 this season. Not 14 this weekend. And onto the grid they come. The final preparations underway. Anderson is already there and waiting. Bit of heat in the tyres, bit of heat into the brakes. That is the view from Simon Ladniak. He's looking down towards turn 1, which is the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit as they head into the hotel turn. Also the scene of many an incident over the years. A fairly controversial corner, and we see many cars in the gravel trap almost every race. We're going to try and get through a race without that this time round. The final car on the grid is Rosowski and Mora, who just bring up the rear of the pack. We have clearance from the back. We are now going to wait for the 5 red lights to come on, and when they go off, we will be racing. It's the 2022 season of the ADAC TCR Germany. Martin Anderson a little bit slow off the line. Jonas Karkleis also a little bit slow, and it's Ladniak up on the inside, but it's Jessica Bachmann who leads into turn 1. So Martin Anderson having a nightmare. It just didn't get off the line, and it's Jessica Bachmann who leads the way ahead of Jonas Karkleis, but Ladniak already looking to the inside of Jonas Karkleis as they head down towards Hasserode. A sharp 180 turn. Jessica Bachmann leading the way from Jonas Karkleis. Adam, what do you reckon happened to Martin Anderson there?
I think possibly it could simply be attributed to launching a car that you're not familiar with. It's a fine art, launching a front-wheel drive touring car, and it's not one that comes easy. Unfortunately, Anderson did not succeed to get a good start in the slightest there, and for a moment there came under pressure from Legutko in the previous generation Civic. That thing's not been current for 4 years at this point. That wouldn't have looked terribly good on the first lap of the race. Of course, Legutko, a very, very talented driver, but nonetheless, it would have probably been a bit annoying for the team if that was the case, that he got between the two newer Civics.
So heading down towards Shell Curve just now, we just saw Jonas Karkleis ducking out, just having a look, filling the mirrors of Jessica Bachmann. It's Simon Ladniak in 3rd place. Martin Anderson, our pole sitter, down in P4. He's got an awful lot of work to do from there, but he has the equipment and he has the skills to do that. In front of him is teammate Simon Ladniak. I'm not sure Ladniak will be wanting to give way too quickly to Martin Anderson, but Bachmann currently in control. Jonas Karkleis just shadowing her every move. Simon Ladniak filling out the top 3. The rest of the cars filing through.
I think we've had an issue for at least a couple of cars. I think I saw Vince Rademacher limping back into the pit lane in one of the Holden Astras, and Mora hasn't come over the line either, actually. So we're potentially both... he has now just come over the line, albeit 10 seconds off the back of the pack. So Rademacher, seems to be in, and not quite sure what's happened to him.
Look at this queue at the lead. Jessica Bachmann is not pulling away in the early stages. About 0.3 of a second now. Here is the car that you were talking about. That is, that's Rosowski. Sorry, that wasn't him. That's Rosowski in one of 2 Audis that are on the grid for the ADAC TCR this weekend. But at the front, Jessica Bachmann has Jonas Karkleis for company. Now the lead 2 just break away a little, but Simon Ladniak is not dropping too far back. Martin Anderson now just keeping a watch, and there to answer that question, Vincent Rademacher into the pits now. Tyre changes are not allowed as a routine, so this is not a pit stop in that sense of the word. Clearly issues. The bonnet's going to come up, and it's starting to look like Rademacher's afternoon has come to a premature end. Jessica Bachmann using an awful lot of the runoff area, doing all that she can to hold off Jonas Karkleis. We look at Robin Yard, just a little focus in there, but it's Bachmann who continues to lead from Jonas Karkleis, Simon Ladniak, Martin Anderson and Rene Kirscher. We haven't spoken much about Rene Kirscher, but a driver who must surely be in contention to challenge for the title this year.
You'd suspect so, wouldn't you? It's interesting with The Fugel's missing, with Luca Engsler moving up to the world of ADAC GT Masters. There's something of an open door. There's an opportunity for someone else to establish themselves at the top, and it's going to be very intriguing to see who fills that void as kind of the new benchmark, the new pace setter of the category. Coming into qualifying, of course, looked like the three that were storming forth were Anderson, Karkleis and Bachmann. However, not storming forward at the start was Anderson. It was such a poor start from the pole sitter.
Yeah, looking at that replay, I was trying to see what happened. Was it wheel spin? Did it get bogged down? Whatever it was, I think, Adam, you're probably spot on by saying he's just getting used to a different car. He said it was a whole different experience to driving the Hyundai last year. You can see from Ladniak, and he almost got it up the inside at that point. In fact, he did, didn't he? Made it stick going into turn one. Almost made it up the inside of Karkleis as well. The view from Bachmann, and it was a dream start for her, wasn't it? A nice open track as you head into the troublesome turn one and the hotel turn. And she worked her way past and into the lead. Looking at a replay of, I'm just trying to work out what particular part we are looking at on the replay.
I think it was Legutko getting overtaken by Robin Yar.
Aha, right, yes. Busy looking at the timing screen. Right, here we go. Robin Yar and Albert Legutko, and that's the replay again, and that is heading down towards turn 4. Yeah. This track, very narrow in places, just 11 to 13 meters wide, so not presenting loads of opportunities to get past.
No, not many at all. It certainly is tricky to make the overtakes stick, but know that any overtakes you do see tend to be very hard fought, which is somewhat comforting in a way. You don't want them to have it too easy. And
they probably disagree with you on that one, don't they?
Yes. They can't hear me. I hope not.
What a distraction that would be.
Would be.
There's Jessica Bachmann looking back at her, looking back at the Bachmann, and she looks now really to have a good handle on this race. She's just opened up a bit of a gap between herself and Jonas Karkleis. It was 0.549 last time around. Let's have a look as they cross the line, and we look at Rademacher still in the pits. He's going to struggle to pick up points this weekend. So they've opened it up a bit by about a tenth of a second. So Bachmann just stretching her legs a little over Jonas Karkleis, and Simon Ladniak about 6/10 behind Karkleis. Martin Anderson kind of a little bit hauled up there in 4th place, and this is not what he was anticipating when he arrived at the Oschersleben Motorsport Arena this morning.
No, definitely not. I think he was expecting a run of his sometimes impervious form in the 2021 season in the Hyundai. I think he was expecting to, as I was alluding to earlier on, fill that void. You know, I'm on pole position. This is going to be great. We're going to start as we mean to go on. And unfortunately, it was the start that let him down ultimately. And he's there in 4th place now. He's got Ladniak ahead of him. Teammates, team orders? No, not a chance. And Anderson is really going to have to fight for a podium here over the course of the next 22 minutes.
And that's exactly what he's doing. You can see him putting the heat on to Simon Ladniak just ahead of him. Now he looks to the inside as they head under the bridge. And that looks rather easy to me. So that looked to me a little bit like Ladniak might have actually allowed him past. Now, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure whether you'd agree with him or not. But Anderson up into P3, so that's what he needed to do. Jonas Karkleis is next up the road to him. Now, he's not a teammate, so he can probably afford to get a little bit more involved, I expect. So Karkleis undoubtedly is going to have Anderson in his mirrors. All the while, Jessica Bachmann just stretching her legs is now 0.788, the gap last time around. So Bachmann just stretching her legs at the front, doing what she needs to do. Here's the view on board from Ladniak as Anderson went past, and that was heading into the Amand curve, turn 12, and Ladniak was through. No, he wasn't. Ladniak was backwards. Anderson was through and taking that 3rd place away.
I think there could be some merit to it if Rademacher did in fact make a calculated move there. Of course, he's running in the junior category.
Yes.
So he'd still score maximum junior points there in 4th place. The next junior actually is René Kircher, who's just behind. But potentially, from a championship perspective, it would make sense.
We're looking there at the number 38 of Kai Rosowski, who is running in 11th place. Great to see the Audi RS3 LMS TCR out on track, a lovely looking car. And Rosowski, who is new to the ADAC TCR Germany this year for K-Row Racing, running very much on his own in P11. So nice, he's getting a bit of airtime as well. Behind him is, of course, Mora. And ahead of him is Grun, Max Grun, and they towards the back end of the field, and we can see that Rosowski, and there's a comparison of how far ahead and how quick Jessica Batman is.
Yeah, that's a slightly mean graphic to show, I'd suggest, really. But yeah, there's Rosowski pushing on there.
Motivational, we call it.
Motivational, yes. Get on it. Basically, that was, I think, in graphic form. But I will actually say, Rosowski there running a first generation RS3, as it were. If we do get a look at Grun's example later on, that car is the more recent model. It's got a slightly different front end, if you want to really spot the difference between the two of them. We saw in the back of shot there a car slowing. That was Maura in the Holden Astra TCR going a lap down. I think for all balance and fairness, they now need to show his pace up against Jessica Batman, so it doesn't look like they're just picking on one person.
Well, I tell you one pace that they are showing, and that's Martin Anderson, who is closing in on Jessica Batman. We always knew he would. The only problem is he's got the small issue of Jonas Karkleis between himself and her. Karkleis is not going to kind of stand aside and let them go sailing past. So Jonas Karkleis, a very quick driver. It's his 2nd season in TCR Germany. He took his debut win at the last race of last season at the Nürburgring, and he was ecstatic with that. And he finished 6th in the championship. And he has got his eyes on 1st in the championship, so he would be very happy to keep one of his main rivals behind him. He'd quite like to get past one of his main rivals in front of him, Jessica Batman, but she looks to have a good grip on this race at the moment. She's not looking under any stress at all, is she?
No, well, Batman's been in this position before. She's been a part of TCR for many, many years in many different places, be it in her native Scandinavian region, be it in the UK, and indeed now in TCR Germany again, having been with us as well in 2019. And yeah, so she's led races on plenty of occasions, so no fear of her being intimidated by the position. Kircher there in 5th position, all over the back of Rademacher, and of course this is the battle for the lead in the junior class as well, 4th and 5th overall, and another intra-manufacturer battle between Honda and Hyundai. It's a battle of the H's this year at the sharp end of the order, isn't it? Top 8, all Hondas or Hyundais.
So, Battle of the H's, well, there's a new thing for us. And the Junior Championship, very, very important. Of course, last year was won by Nico Gruber, who's moved on to greater things this year. The winner of the championship gets a nice brand new Honda Civic to drive away, which seems like a bit of an insult to somebody who's driving a Hyundai. If he wins it, I don't know, or maybe not. The car of René Kircher is currently challenging Simon Rademacher, but Rademacher has a grip on it, and this will be a championship that runs all season long. We look at Albert Legutko, Robin Yar in front of him, and Albert Legutko in P7, Robin Yar logistically, obviously, in P6. Legutko, he's another driver, we've just spoken about him already, the Polish driver, his 3rd season in TCR Germany. He just seems to improve with every race weekend, and he is just loving being part of this.
Yes, interesting that he's gone a little more basic with the old livery this year. He had quite a nice stealthy black car with some red and grey details on it last year. He's gone for the plain white on this occasion. It's yes, I wonder if he's maybe ready to surprise us with something for a couple of rounds from now. But certainly it's looking very much like it's come just out of the factory, and I'm sure that they are in regular correspondence with ADAC Motorsport, the company that develops the Honda TCR cars. And I know that ADAC are very much behind their customers. You'll see them every weekend on social media, like, look at the great results for this car and that car. And that does include the older FK2s as well. They're very much seemingly of the opinion that all of their cars are on their team, and all of the teams underneath the ADAC Motorsport banner, as it were, should be supported, which is always nice to see. I think hands-on between customer and manufacturer, that's nice.
We're just approaching the halfway point of the race. You just saw the first 5 all in the same shot. Jessica Bachmann, she's into control, about 1.133 seconds in control, as we look at a replay of Anderson getting past Jonas Karkleis. So that happened whilst we were busy looking elsewhere. So Martin Anderson, after that really difficult start to the race, is now making progress back again as he overtakes Jonas Karkleis for second. So a change. Anderson is moving forwards. Now, can he do anything about Jess Bachmann, who is a little up the road, 1.1 seconds to be exact? We will be looking at that gap very closely. We are the exactly halfway point of this race as we watch Albert Legutko once again challenging Robin Yar. Legutko alongside, heading into the chicane. He drops back, bumping over the curbs, and corner, we'll just drive straight over it. Out they come of the McDonald's turn, and down, almost made me hungry, down towards Shell, and there's a little bit of a downhill and then a little bit of an uphill, more than you would think. Actually, we walked that part of the track yesterday, and there's quite a steep uphill in the grand scale of things. Useful information. So Legutko and Yar seemingly welded together. I'm quite interested to see what the gap is going to be between first and second. And Martin Anderson has halved it in 1 lap. So he's got it down to 0.6 of a second. Anderson is closing on the leader. Yar is closing on Legutko, or Legutko's closing on Yar, make that. And Legutko trying round the outside into turn 1. A few make that stick. The outside becomes the inside. Legutko is through. Yar is relegated down the order, and Albert Legutko is going forwards. Albert Legutko up to P6.
Gutsy driving, I'd call that. That was very good going.
Gutsy driving, indeed.
Yes,
so very good.
Good replay there. You could see just how close he was, really, to pushing the limits of those front tyres too far in that replay in slow motion. If he'd gone any faster around that corner, he would have been skimming across the gravel like a stone on the ocean. And, well, good driving indeed from Legutko to move up the order. P6, and that also brings him almost in a nice queue now with the other junior class drivers, 4th, 5th, 6th, all juniors.
We do, of course, have the trophy category as well for the more, I was going to say senior, more experienced driver. Ronan Hertner in P9 currently leads that one. Vincent Rademacher obviously having a fairly torrid afternoon up until now. Not having a torrid afternoon anymore. Martin Anderson, he, after that awful start, is suddenly up with Jessica Bachmann, and he is not hanging about with his challenge to the lead. You can see Bachmann just glancing to the mirror on her left-hand side. She knows that Anderson is here, and she goes deep into the hotel turn. Comes back across to pick up the apex on the exit, but Martin Anderson is a man on a mission. The timing screen says 0.3 of a second. My eyes say that that's going to be a lot closer than that at certain parts of the track. Bachmann, she is concentrating really hard. Martin Anderson for Team Engsler is a driver who is on the ascendancy in TCR racing, and he is on the ascendancy in this race as he looks to come back and retake that #1 position. So Bachmann now having to drive with her mirrors. You see her glancing in the mirrors very regularly. She knows that Anderson is there. She knows that she has to keep this car absolutely on the right part of the track to keep that Honda behind her.
And there's also the small matter of traffic in the near immediate future. Rosowski just 3 or 4 seconds up the road, give it another lap and a half or so, and they're going to meet that car. They're going to hope they meet the Audi at a not too tricky place. It's always a bit of a luck of the draw, especially a narrow circuit like Oschersleben, as to when you catch the traffic.
So with a little under 11.5 minutes of this race remaining, it's Jessica Bachmann who leads the way in the Rilke Motorsport Hyundai. It's the Liquid Moly Team Engstler Honda in second place. This is the view from Bachmann now. Perfect. You said that the back marker might get in the way. If she could have picked 1 point to meet that back marker, it would have been along the pit straight. That's exactly what happened. Cleared the back marker. Unfortunately for her, Martin Anderson did as well. So Anderson's still very much on her tailgate as Jonas Karkleis works his way past the back marking 38 car. But Karkleis just said feels like he's dropped back from this battle, and I wonder whether he's taken too much out of the tyres early on as we look at Patrick Singh, and those tyres aren't even going round as he locks the brake going into the corner. And that is Max Grun. Max Grun back in P10, also going wide. Roland Hertner in P9, and a bit of debris flying up into the air. None of that came off his car or another car. But you get the dirt on the tyres, and it's going to take you a part of a lap to get them cleaned up. And in that time, it can be quite easy to lose a place, can't it?
That sequence of replays rather felt like they were saying, just because your mistake isn't shown live doesn't mean we can't show it later.
You can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Look at Latniak in fourth place, and René Kirscher turning the heat up. So Simon Ladniak and René Kirscher, but the battle for the lead is keeping us engrossed as well. Oh, we don't know where to look. There's battles raging in this race. Bachmann and Anderson, Ladniak and Kirscher are the two significant ones, and we can look at both of them in this shot here. Heading down the pit straight, Jonas Karkleis kind of very much on his own.
Yeah, watch this here. Unfortunately, the Astra not as charitable as Wazowski was a lap ago. Thankfully, well, actually did eventually go, oh, okay, no, I should probably get off the apex, and thankfully didn't compromise this great little battle that we've got for fourth overall for the junior class lead. I thought for a horrible minute that they were going to find a car kind of stone in the middle of 1 and 2, and that's never a nice place to come across lap traffic.
So the race continues with Bachmann at front, with Anderson challenging, and is that Martin Anderson that we're looking at? It's certainly one of the...
yes, Ladniak.
Oh, it's Ladniak we're looking at. Yes, of course it is. So Ladniak, and you can see that he is completely aware that the number 8 car is there. René Kirscher, who's dropped 0 off his number this year, just to confuse us, like I needed any confusing. And the number 8, not 80 car, is pressuring hard for that position. Ladniak in 4th, Kirscher in 3rd, but as Adam has already pointed out, for the lead in the junior race that takes place within this race that we are watching. So everything on the line here. Simon Ladniak doing what he can to keep that Hyundai behind him.
Interesting there that Kirscher went very shallow into the second last corner, as if he was looking for a way up the inside, which wasn't even remotely possible. And unfortunately, in the process, he cost himself a 10th or 2. Now, I know that sometimes in touring car racing, you do see people take a shallower line. Matt Neal, infamous for that over on our side of the channel, taking a shallow line into corners. But I don't think he's doing any favours to himself there in a couple of places around the circuit. But there is a good place to go shallow. Out to the corner, the exit there went wide halfway through T2, got a good run. Unfortunately, not a good enough run to draw alongside, but that doesn't deter him. He uses the banking at Hasserode to try and get through. I'll immediately correct myself, Hallerode, not Hasserode, but not quite a move for Kirscher.
Oh, there we go. I'm learning something here. It says Hasserode on my map. There we go.
I'm so hesitant to believe myself. It is Hasserode.
It is Hasserode.
Right.
In the background there is the hotel of the hotel turn, and I won't tell you what part of the world McDonald's is named after, but that is turn 10 and down towards Shell. It's a bit of a down and then it's a bit of an up, and we're looking at a replay here of that challenge, and it's and that was out of the Hasserode, and the René Kirscher car did. It was quite a kind of optimistic move to try and look at the long way round, but I would suggest that on a track such as this one at Oschersleben, where overtaking opportunities are so difficult, you are more likely to try these unusual lines, these unusual approaches to corners, just to find a route past that car in front.
Innovator procrastinator around here, I think.
Well, up that in writing. You saw the challenge for the lead just flashing through your picture. You saw the lonely third place, the very not lonely fourth and fifth place. So Simon Ladniak would be quite happy to be on his own if Rene Kirscher would just get off his tailgate. But Kirscher wants to get past Ladniak. You see him glance in the mirror. If you can see the look on his face, it'd probably be like, oh, please just go away. Ladniak holding on as best he can in that Honda. Rene Kirscher, a rapidly becoming seasoned campaigner in the ADAC TCR Germany, looking in every way he can to get past Ladniak, but still no route past. Now, we have a little over 5 minutes of this race left. Can Kirscher find a route? Can he do something different? Can he push Ladniak into a mistake? Ladniak, at the moment, he's keeping it exactly where he needs to.
Robin Jarre was demoted from 7th to 10th place on that last lap in the number 22 Hyundai Veloster TCR. Not quite sure what happened to him, but he's fallen well down the order.
Well, the Big Brother cameras will probably have picked it up, and we'll no doubt see very shortly. Jonas Karkleis in third place, and it really does look like third is probably where it's going to end for him, because he's too far back from the leaders to do anything about it, unless, of course, they get together. And the cars behind him, Kirscher and Legutko, unlikely to catch him in the next 5 minutes. You can see the gap between first and second, a little under half a second, but like the famous piano accordion, that is changing on every corner, and this is the battle for fourth and fifth place. Simon Ladniak, Rene Kirscher. It feels like they've been at each other for the majority of this race, doesn't it?
It really does, and I think I can identify what happened to Robin Jarre, actually, because everyone else on the speed trap in Sector 1, 170, 169, 118 for Robin Jarre. So if he did make an error, I'm suggesting it was there, unless the car is ailing, of course, but if it was ailing, you'd have thought he'd gone into the pit lane. So
well observed by my man, sat by the timing screen there, and we are looking at this battle that continues for fourth place. It's not a podium position, it is just a little bit off the podium, but it is for the lead in the junior championship, which would be a podium for the junior podium. If that makes any sense at all, it probably doesn't. It's still Backman who leads the way.
I was just gesturing to you, like, oh, I don't quite get it, but no, I do understand your point.
I thought you were doing a little dance there. I could put the music on.
It did look a bit like a dance, yes. If only there was a no, actually, I'm not going to invite them to put a camera in this commentary box.
No,
never, please, no.
Mika Mora there, number 17. That's confused me a little bit, because the Gutgo was 17 last year. Now, who is that into the pit lane?
Robin Jarre.
That's Robin Jarre, isn't it? So, yeah, I would suggest that is a mechanical issue. You did speculate that he might have a problem, and the number 11 car pulls it up. Looks like his afternoon is over, and all being well, he will be back tomorrow afternoon to do it all again and hopefully have a little bit more success. Look at the amount of gravel that's come off it. It does look as though he might have had a bit of an excursion on his way round, which might be part of the problem. Right, here's our leader. She's just got to hold on for a little under 3 minutes, and this race will be hers. It would be her first win, I believe, in ADAC TCR Germany. Just furiously checking my notes. Her best result up until now was a second place at Hockenheim in 2019. Martin Anderson definitely wants to steal that honour away from her and take another win. He's had several already in the ADAC TCR Championship. And Backman, she must be willing these last 2.5 minutes away. You see how much she is looking into her mirror. She is not allowing Anderson to sneak under the radar. She has her eyes firmly glued on that Honda behind. Of course, you spend too much time looking in the mirrors, you can end up making a mistake and letting the car pass. But at the moment. She's doing everything right, but Anderson now, this is surely winding himself up for a last charge. Less than 2 minutes of this race remaining. And Martin Anderson is glued to the back bumper of the Jessica Bachmann Hyundai Veloster. Into the hotel turn. Once more they come. Bachmann just needs to hold on for another minute and 3/4, and this race will be hers, but a wheel onto the dirt. Now, we don't know whether that was just going a little bit wide or whether she's opened the door to Anderson. I would suggest she's probably held on because we haven't seen otherwise. But that is further.
That's Kershaw getting past Rademacher there for 4th place. That's the junior lead that has been exchanged on the penultimate lap regarding Bachmann and the dust kicker. It wasn't going in too deep, it was going in too shallow. That was the inside wheels at turn 2. So yeah, just kicking up a little bit of dirt there. Here's a replay of the move. Just seemingly as this race wears on, the front tyres, you know, they're getting a bit aged at this point, just struggling to get the car turned and stopped at the same time, and Rademacher left the door open. Kershaw did not need a second invitation.
And of course they're learning these tyres and how much they degrade during a race. The new tyre from the exclusive partner Hankook for this race, along with new fuel as well. Some Shell Blue Gasoline 98 GT Masters, given its full title, fuel that consists of approximately 50% renewable components developed by Shell for the ADAC. The cars are running it all across the ADAC categories this year. Right, Jessica Bachmann out of the Zeppelin curve onto the pit straight one more time. Martin Anderson still shadowing her every move, but still unable to find a route pass. She's locking up a little bit into the corner. You just sense that Jessica Bachmann is getting a little bit frustrated. Oh, frustrated, probably not the word, but that's probably what Martin Anderson is. But she needs to just hold it together if she's going to win this race. Of course, it is a time plus 1 lap. So Bachmann continues in the lead, but Anderson is rapidly running out of time to find a route pass into the lead. They get past the back marking Mora once again, but that's the 1-2. Anderson now further back. Has he settled for second place? Surely not. Into the hotel turn. Once more they come. The closing stages of this race is Jessica Bachmann leading the way, and Anderson's dropped back.
Anderson has actually. I was just thinking whether maybe or not he's just taken the best out of his tyres, because I got the feeling for a little while that there was a pace deficit in favour of Anderson, maybe because Bachmann was struggling with tyres. Certainly she was understeering quite violently at turn 7 a couple of laps ago, but now the pendulum seems to have maybe not swung the other way, but balanced nicely.
That's a beautiful way of putting it. So the clock has struck 0. We're into the plus 1 lap. It's Jessica Bachmann who heads out of the Zeppelin curve, which is turn 14, and along the pit straight races across the line into the final lap of the race. Martin Anderson shadowing her one last opportunity. That was the best overtaking opportunity into turn 1 around the hotel turn. And now Anderson just looking a little bit wide, but Jessica Bachmann, she has not put a wheel wrong here. She's just doing all that she needs to do to keep that Honda behind. Jonas Karkleis still in a lonely 3rd place. Rene Kershaw having got past Simon Rademacher in P4 and in the lead of the junior category. Rademacher and Albert Legutko rounding out the top 6. Here comes our race leader for the very last time up towards turn 4 and turn 5. It's more of a kink than a turn, and around they come into turn 6, turn 7, the complete 180, and then back out along the short straight up towards turn 8, past the grandstand and into the chicane, out of McDonald's and down towards Shell. They come down the hill at the bottom of the decline, and then up they go again, up towards Shell curve, which is turn 12, through the chicane of the Amman curve, taking it absolutely flat out, and they'll be heading towards the Bauer curve, which is turn 13, and then Zeppelin is all that stands between Jessica Bachmann and the checkered flag. Out of the Zeppelin curve, turn 14, ahead of her, she sees the flag waving, is Jessica Bachmann, who wins race 1 of the season for the ADAC TCR Germany. Martin Anderson following across the line. And what happened to Jonas Karkleis? So I said he was in a fairly comfortable third place. It turned out to be a very close third place. Clearly a mistake in the closing stages, and René Kirscher very nearly nicked third place from him.
I think René Kirscher just did a sensational job of preserving his rubber, to be honest, because I was watching him. He was the fastest driver around the circuit for the last 2 laps, and I watched that gap come down sector on sector on sector. That's really promising for Kirscher if he's able to do that. If he gets a good start tomorrow and he can make that rubber last, podium could be on.
Absolutely. René Kirscher, one of the stars of ADAC TCR Germany, was still just waiting for the 38 car of Kai Rosowski for K-Row Racing in his debut in the ADAC TCR Germany to come across the line. The driver from Lower Saxony, and enjoying his debut in TCR Germany, crosses the line, and that is P10. And that concludes what has been a thoroughly entertaining race for the ADAC TCR Germany. Here we go again, a replay of Jessica Bachmann crossing the line to take the win. And applause from the team leader across the wall. And there is a replay of the drag race that saw René Kirscher almost steal third place. In fact, it looked to me like he was, maybe it's the angle, it looked like he was actually ahead briefly, but Karkleis, the drag race to the line, and it really did look from that angle as though Kirscher had actually got that third place. That was a very tight finish.
I'll take more drag race a la I-30 next time out, lads, if you want to have that battle again. That looked very fun indeed.
Yes, and it won't be long to wait before that. And Bachmann, she looks just like almost slightly overwhelmed by it, and it's great to see her winning. It's the first time a Veloster has won in the ADAC TCR Germany. I believe it's the first time that Jessica Bachmann has won in ADAC TCR Germany, and it's a Ryoka Motorsport win in this, the first race of this 14 race season. Martin Anderson in second, Jonas Karkleis, René Kirscher, Simon Ladniak, Our Lagutko, Roland Hurtner, and Patrick Singh rounding out the top 8. Then it's Max Grun in top 9. We saw Kai Rosowski crossing the line, a lap down in 10th, and then Mikael Mora, Robin Yar, and Vincent Rademacher. Well, Rademacher was a DNF, and the other 2 drivers several laps down. A great start to the season for the ADAC TCR Germany. I can see my learned colleagues scrolling through the stats, and you're looking at previous winners in the ADAC TCR Germany, aren't you?
Yes, just wanted, you said I believe, and I was like, oh, that's my cue to just check. But yes, yeah, quite right on that stat. Regards Jessica Bachmann. And there you see the front end of Robin Jar's car for Sans grill. So
yes,
it had a grill when it came into the pit lane. So I don't know whether it was an overheating issue. Obviously, we saw the car being kind of as if effectively it's a blow dryer, isn't it, that they use on the front grille. I think that might have been maybe overheating related to gravel in the grill or something like that. Nonetheless, no such issues for the other Veloster of Jessica Bachmann. I'm interested to see whether it all pulls out of her now. She looked, as you said, kind of almost like she was not surprised, but almost a bit shell-shocked that it's happened. I can celebrate a win, and now I want to see the celebration. Go on, Jessica. You definitely deserve to let loose and celebrate that one.
It was great to see her brother Andreas here as well. There he is on the right-hand side of your picture, and of course he is has been a prolific figure in ADAC TCR Germany in the past, and he's been very much there advising and engineering along with the rest of the team, and I think he's delighted to see that, just listening in, and probably I imagine it's probably going to be in Swedish anyway, so I don't know why I'm listening in.
Swedish.
Yeah, well, I don't even start on that one. Yeah, there we go. Let's just hope it's nothing impolite. So a real team operation, and the crew really gathering around her and encouraging her. She has been there or thereabouts through all of the practice and testing and qualifying, and this will not be the last win that she takes this year. She is going to be a challenger all season long and a real contender for the championship.
Yeah, 100%. Great example of what Jessica can do. Today withstood the pressure from Anderson expertly, got the best out of the Veloster, fought against the tyres as they started to go off, and yeah, very measured, clever driving from Jessica, and I'm very curious to see how race 2 goes for her.
You saw the points there added to the points that they earned from qualifying. And Jessica sits at the top of the point standings. Jonas Karkleis just congratulating her there. And you saw Martin Anderson as well.
Congrats.
And congrats indeed. A sip of water. Oh, no, put the hat on first. Hankook, we welcome them to the ADAC TCR Germany. The water provided by BWT, changing the world sip by sip, removing plastic bottles from the circuit, making it a plastic-free zone, and we're all avoiding plastic bottles, which is really good for this the change to the environment, and BWT very much leading the way there. Jessica Bachmann, and there's a nice view of the Veloster, actually. There's a nice view of the i30 version of the Hyundai with Jonas Karkleis at the wheel for Nord Pass Racing, and a third place for him puts him very much in the championship hunt from the word go. Pole sitter Martin Anderson, it'll be interesting to find out what happened to him at the start of that race. The Liquid Moly team Engsler, second place, not a bad recovery at all, but the hero, the heroine of the day, Jessica Bachmann in the Hyundai Veloster NTCR for Ryoka Motorsport, taking the win. Race 1 of the ADAC TCR Germany. Entertaining start to the season for the ADAC TCR Germany. Of course, we're back tomorrow for race 2. On the 20th to the 22nd of May, we head to the Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 2. Round 3 at the Salzburg Ring in June, 17th to 19th of June. I don't think the TCR Germany has ever raced at Salzburg Ring before. An interesting circuit, really looking forward to seeing that. Oh, my colleague is back on the stats. The Nürburgring for round 4 in August, the 5th to the 7th. Lausitz Ring for round 5, 19th to the 21st of August. The undulating Sachsenring for round 6 at the end of September, and then it all comes to a halt at Hockenheim for round 7 on the 21st to the 23rd of October, when the champion will be crowned. We're just looking at the ADAC GT4 cars in the pit lane, and they will be racing next. We're looking forward to that one, but we still have the small matter of the podium presentation here for the ADAC TCR Germany. It's a fair old trek up to that podium, and quite hard work when you've been racing around here, I'm told. And the trophies will be awarded.
So to answer that question, no, Salzburg Ring debut for ADAC TCR Germany. Not a debut for TCR as a whole. TCR Europe and I believe the TCR International Series have both been Salzburg Ring before.
There we go. I did think that, but I suddenly doubted myself. I should not do that. Right, here we go then. Third place, Jonas Karkleis for Nord Pass, taking to the podium. Here comes Martin Anderson for Liquid Moly team Engsler on the second step. But the winner of the first race of the season, Jessica Bachmann,
I think that was her dad in the shirt there. Did you read the shirt?
No. Was it anything?
I have an amazing daughter, and I'm a very proud father. Brackets. She bought me this shirt. I think that was her dad's.
National anthem time. So that's the national anthem done, and the trophies are about to be awarded. Herman Tomczyk from the ADAC presenting the winner's trophy to Jessica Bachmann. Yes, that T-shirt, we just wondered if that is her dad or whether it's just some random person who's very proud of his daughter. Martin Anderson, the second place trophy.
If it is, also really likes Jessica Bachmann because he's got a cap for her as well.
I have so many scenarios. Jonas Karkleis picking up the third place. That looks like Andreas Bachmann picking up. No, it's not him, is it? I look like him for a moment, picking up the team trophy as a member of the Liquimoli Team Exler, getting the team trophy. And team photographs, and a 1, 2, 3. Very quickly, there'll be a short celebration for Jessica Bachmann, and then, I'm liking the hammering the bottle down by Martin Anderson. I've seen that go wrong a few times. Showering at Jessica Bachmann, and very soon they will turn their focus to the next race. It will be race 2 of this 14-race season.